The next concept will be on array methods. So once when you have an array, you have certain methods. Let's take a look at certain methods here. Let's declare the array again. Constant k is equal to, let's say, subjects. I'll again and again create this array. No problem. Java, you'll have Python. Here we'll have OS and then networks. So we have created this array. Let's take a look at some of the methods. First method is length. We already know this. We want to find the length, that is number of elements in the array. You go with length. So here is this length, 4 elements in the array. So 4 is nothing but number of elements in the array. The next method we are going to see is toString. The next method is toString. What is the use of this method is takes the entire array, converts it to a string. So let's convert this. Let's say let x be the string. We'll call this array subjects dot toString. That's it. So this entire array is converted to a string, and let's log this x. So what is happening here is this string is returned. You see Java, Python, OS, networks is actually a string. So you can take an array, convert an array to a string. What is the method? Dot array name dot toString. Likewise, you have other methods. Let's go in for other methods too. Let me delete this. Another method is we have push and pop methods. We'll see what is the use of pop. Pop, we all know, it will pop an element from the end of the array. It will remove this and it will return the array without that element. So let's say constant k, that, or I'll say constant result is equal to subjects dot pop. So this is going to remove this element and return this array. So when I just console log result, you can see the output. What is that output? Okay, it's not this. I'm sorry. Result will be that popped element. Subjects dot pop will just return this. It should be subjects. So what is that we understand here is let's take a look at this Java, Python, and OS. So what is that I have done here? Subjects.pop will remove this element from the array, and then the array will be Java, Python, and OS. What it returns is the popped element. So what this one returns, when I say let x is equal to subjects.pop, what will be the value of x? It will be networks. Here the actual array is getting impacted. When I say subjects.pop, it is getting removed and subjects will have only 3 elements. What is push? Push is the opposite. It will add an element to the end of the array. Let's push something here. So let's say subjects dot push. Let me push some element here. Let's push physics. What will happen to the array is this will push physics to the end and then it will change the array. Let's run this. You see Java, Python, networks, physics. So push is actually adding an element to the end of the array. Appending an element, we'll say. So two important methods, push and pop. We have also seen length and toString. Let's take a look at other methods. Can we go to other methods? Let's take a look at join method. Join method in arrays. What is the use of join method? I can join all these elements. So let's take let x equals subjects dot join. So join method. See, the beauty of join method is you can give some what to say a string which can be used for joining. Say for instance, I can join all these elements here, Java, Python, using this what to say argument I'm passing here. So let's take a look at the output, console log x. Let's take a look at the output. So you'll be able to see it's joining every element using this argument we are passing. It can be anything. See, join the elements in an array using a star. So now it's going to join it using a star, Java star, Python star, OS or networks. So what is the type of X? I think it's a string. Let's check the type of X. It's a string. So what it does is it joins the element, creates a string, and uses this particular character we are passing, the argument, to join these elements within an array. So that is the use of join. So how will you use join? Array name dot join. You can pass any of the characters which can be used for joining the elements. And what is the return type? It's a string. Let me move on to the next method. The next method is a shift method. Shift method. What is the use of shift method is? It will remove the first element in the array and then it will shift all the elements to the lower index. That is, Python will come to index 0, OS will come to index 1, like that. So let's perform subjects dot shift. Let me check by logging in subjects to the console. Let's check whether it is affecting the original array or it's just returning an array. See, it's affecting the original array. So what's happening here is Java is removed and every element is shifted to the lower order index. So Python comes in index 0, OS comes in index 1, networks comes in index 2. That is the use of shift. When you have shift, you have the opposite of shift to be unshift. What is unshift? You can add an element, it will add it to the beginning and then it will shift all the other elements to the higher order index. So let's take a look at unshift, subjects dot unshift, and I'm going to pass physics. So what will happen here is the array will be unshifted. So physics will be added in index 0, Java will go to index 1, Python will go to index 2, like that. Let's log this array. So let's log console log subjects. Let's check what is happening. So you see physics added to the beginning of the array and all the other elements shifted to the right. Push will add the elements to the end of the array. It's like appending elements, whereas shift and unshift will work in the beginning of the array. That's the difference. So the next concept is concatenation of arrays or merging of two arrays. Concatenation or merging of arrays. Not only two arrays, many arrays we can merge. Let's say we have two arrays here, subjects and constant. I'll have a test array. Test array will have some elements t1 and t2. Now what is that I want to perform is merge these two arrays. So I will perform test dot concat, and whatever array I want to concat this with subjects. So concatenation will return an array. So let's say this is constant result. So this will not affect the original array. It will return an array after concatenation. So test dot concat, it will take t1, t2, then it will add Java, Python, OS networks. When I console log the result, what will be the output? Let's take a look at this. See T1, T2, Java, Python, OS networks. If I just console log test, what will be the output? See, the original array remains the same. See, when I concatenate test with subjects, both these original arrays are not impacted. What is impacted? It returns a new array with the concatenated result. So you can concatenate like this. How will you concatenate? Array name dot concatenate the array that we are going to add. See, you can have many arrays like this. I can say constant n is equal to, I can have n1 comma n2 comma n3. So now I have two arrays. I can very well add more number of arrays here, subjects comma, I can add n. If I have more arrays, say if I have k, q, I can just keep on adding. This is allowed. So I am just concatenating. I'm merging two arrays with test. Let's run this. So what's the result? T1, T2 is added with subjects and then it's also concatenated with my array n. So concatenation works like this. So he's asking a very good question. Can we concatenate a string? You can very well concatenate. See, I have a string here. Let's have a string. Let x equal to Satish is the string. I'll give my name. And I want to concatenate Satish with test. How I can perform that is constant result is equal to it's like test dot concat and x. That's it. Now I will print console log result. So it's going to be, let me clear this console and let me run this T1, T2, Satish. So now you can concatenate a string directly to an array. That's possible. Have you finished this? Concatenating a string. The next interesting method is, this is something which I learned, that is copy within. Let's take a look at this method, copy within. What is the use of this method is, you can specify an index from where you can copy those elements to another index within the same array. This property will not actually increase the size of the array, it will just overwrite the elements in the array. Let's take a look at this. Say subjects dot copy within. This is the method, and what is that we are going to do is copy to index 1 all the elements from index 0 in this array. So the elements from index 0 is Java, right? So it takes elements from the index 0, it copies to index 1 and so on. So let's take a look at the output. Let's console log subjects. Let's run this. So what is that you're seeing here is Java is there. So from index 1, the elements in index 0 is getting copied. So again it is copying Java, Python, OS. See, networks is left out because it will not increase the size of the array. It will just overwrite. So what is it we are performing here? We are taking Java, Python, OS. We are overwriting it here. Because we are saying take the element from index 0, copy it from index 1. So two very important properties. It will overwrite. It will not, see, it just overwrites Python OS networks with what? Java, Python and OS. And another important thing is it will not increase the length of the array. Increase the size of the array. These are very important properties. You can also give like this, copy element starting from 0 to 2, index 2. So what are the elements starting from index 0? This is 0, 1 and 2. Copy these elements to index 1. So that is also possible. Let's run this. So Java, Python, networks. One important key thing here is when I say 0 to 2, index 2 is not considered. Only index 0 and 1 is considered. So ending index is not considered here. So what's happening here is take elements from 0 to 2 in the sense 0 and 1 it will take and it will copy it in 1. So what will be the output? Java and Python. So Java, Python networks. So that's the use of copy within. What is the use of copy within? It's used for copying elements from one index to another index within the same array. It will overwrite, it will not increase the size of the array. I tried something like this. Say if I try to copy something in index 4, 0, 1, 2, 3. This is weird, right? The index starts from 0, it ends at 3. I'm trying to copy something to 4. What happens here? Nothing happens. Java, Python, OS, networks is printed. Thought there'll be some kind of an error or something. It's not doing anything. Or you're clear with copy within? Before winding up, we'll take a look at two more methods with respect to arrays. That is slicing and splicing. Slicing an array and splicing an array. Slicing and splicing. What is the slicing? Taking part of the array out. Slicing an array. Say I love constant k or constant result is equal to subjects dot slice. The method name is slice. Give the starting index. What do you want to slice? I'll slice from index 1. I'll run till index 3. Here the ending index is not included. So it will slice 1 and 2. So what will be the output here? When I just console log result, it will return Python and OS. That's what I believe will happen. Let's run this. Python and OS. So you have to be very cautious when you're using slice. The ending index is not included. So when I say 1 comma 3 starts at 1, runs up till 2. So Python OS is getting sliced, and that itself is an array that is getting returned. That's why I'm using constant result. So this is an array which I am logging out. Another variation to the slice method is if I don't give an ending index, it slices everything from the start till the end from that index. So now when I run this, Python OS network. So it slices from this till the end because starting index is 1. Slice, very important. You want to take part of the array out. Very interesting. So before winding up, let's take a look at splicing. What is splicing an array? Splicing an array. Through splicing, what we can do is we can remove elements from an index. Remove elements from an index. This we can perform. And we can add elements in an index. We can add 2 or 3 elements starting from an index. We can also simultaneously add and remove elements. I can remove certain elements and add certain elements in an index. So let's take a look at this. What is splicing? Let's first splice in the sense subjects dot splice. It's not going to return anything. It's going to alter that array, I guess. Let's take a look at this. Subjects dot splice. What is that I'm going to perform is in index 1, I'm going to remove 2 elements. So what it will remove? Python and OS it should remove. Where it will remove in index 1. Let me log subjects. Let's check whether it is impacting the original array. Let me clear this. Let's run this Java and network. So what it has done is it starts with index 1 and it has removed 2 elements. So this first property, first argument is which index. Second argument is how many elements I should remove. Got it? So this is how you remove elements from an index. Remove elements. If I want to add elements to an index, the next thing we'll see is adding elements to an index. Add elements to an index. How will you add elements to an index? For this, we'll again use subjects dot splice. In index 1, I want to add 2 elements. Am I removing any element? I'm not removing, so I'll give 0. Whatever elements I want to add, say I want to add physics, I want to add chemistry. So I'll give this. So start in index 1, add physics and chemistry. This 0 denotes do not remove any elements. Now let's run this. Let's take a look at the output. So you see Java, it added physics and chemistry. It didn't remove any elements. It moved Python and OS to the higher order of the index. So you have Python, OS and networks here. Subjects dot splice. Final thing is I want to add elements and remove simultaneously. Then I can give, instead of 0, I'll give 2. What it means is you go to index 1, remove Python and OS, and then you add physics and chemistry. So now when I log this output, you can very well see Java, Python and OS got removed, physics and chemistry got added to that place. So we have completed some basic methods of arrays. We'll still have one more session on arrays where we'll be looking at searching an array, and there's an ES6 concept on arrays which is extensively used in React, filtering an array, map method in arrays, and a lot of things like that. So that's it for today's class. Are you all comfortable with arrays?